Respected educator, national award recipient, mentor, and community leader. These are just some of the titles associated with Teacher Lufa, who have dedicated majority of his life to the teaching profession.
I suppose it's a gift from God. That's what I can say, right? It's a gift.
Behind his hard work, dedication, and success, Salufa says there was a battle he fought in silence, a personal journey to overcome alcoholism and remain sober.
It's 11 years now. I have never touched alcohol. Never. And I don't think I'll do it. And I will say it again for those who are listening to us. If a doctor tells me tomorrow or today, Sir Lufa, you have to take a sugar brandy for your health, I tell him I prefer to die. Alcohol doesn't take out stress. It puts more stress.
My name is Rhonda Luke, and I'm Ronaldo Luke Pascal, and welcome to episode 13 of My Story, a feature on DBS Radio where we bring you the voices of the people. In these features, we share the lives of individuals, their journeys, their triumphs, their struggles, and the moments that shape them into who they are.
My name is Lufa Martin, better known as Teacher Lufa or Sir Lufa, and this is my story.
Our interview began with a look into his early childhood. Salufa, who lives in the community of Gutta, revealed that he was born and raised in the eastern village of Dalis, but relocated to Rosa with his mother at a young age. The move marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life and shaped many of the experiences that would follow.
I know I went to the Dalis primary school. I didn't stay there long, probably about a year or two. And then my mother came to work in Roseau, a prison officer. So that's how I ended up in Roseau. And we were living in Kennedy Avenue at the time. So I didn't stay in Dalis for that long, maybe 2 years. But when we came to Roseau, I attended the Roseau Mixed School. Roseau Mixed School, then I went to Roseau Girls School. Don't laugh. Because in those days they had boys and girls. And from Roseau Girls School, we went to Roseau Boys School. We call it Chateau. From that school, I reached Standard 7 and I migrated to Antigua.
At the age of 9 years old, Salufa's life changed after the passing of his mother. Having never grown up with his father, he was placed in the care of a relative, which pushed him to leave and migrate abroad in search of safety and a better life.
I say to people all the time, if my mother was alive today, I wouldn't be a teacher. Because after my mother died, my sister and myself went to live with my uncle. And my uncle gave us a very hard time, right? I wouldn't call it abuse, but we really were not treated properly, right? And I had to, after a while, being a human being, I ran away. I didn't give it that stuff. That's why I ended up in Antigua. I ran away and went to Antigua. Yeah.
So that's how you got to Antigua?
Yes, I went to Antigua with Thomas Kentish. Met his mother on the port. She was going to Antigua for carnival. That's a big joke. And I carry a basket on the boat. And I end up in Antigua. Guess close.
As a young boy, that's how you end up in Antigua.
And it's not like now. In those days, your parent come in, you can bring your child free. So the lady told the customer officer, that's my son. And when I went to Antigua, I entered an exam. I wrote an exam of over 200 boys, and I came out 5th in the group. So I got a scholarship. And I went to the St. Joseph Academy. After I graduated from St. Joseph Academy, the Christian brothers got so interested in me that they asked me to take up a job as a teacher in the school. So I taught there for 1 year, 1969 to 1970. But while I was teaching there, I remember my Dominican, not friends, my Dominican heritage, I call it. I used to come here very often on vacation. So I said, why should I be teaching Antigans and Dominicans I'm a Dominican, and Dominican don't have a teacher. So I came back to Dominica, and Miss, look, what I'm going to tell you there is the gospel truth. When I came back to Dominica in 1970, I am one of the few teachers who never wrote an application for a job. You want to know why?
Why?
Because of my CVQ. When I showed them what I got from, from my exam, plus the recommendations the brother gave me. Mr. Stevens, who was the Minister of Education at the time, you know what he said? It's people like you we want. And do you know, he called Mr. Belgrave Robinson, who was the Chief Education Officer, and he told Belgrave officer, Mr. Robinson, I want you to put that gentleman in a school. You understand?
And how old were you at that time when you started teaching in Dominica?
Maybe around 24.
About 24?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when let me put it this way. I was on probation for about 6 months. I hear teachers now taking years to get appointed. 6 months, after 6 months, I was appointed.
Okay. And do you remember which school was the first school that you taught?
Oh, very, very interested. The first school I taught was Roseau Boys School. I taught there for 34 years. Miss, look, they changed principals, they changed teachers, they never changed Teacher Lufa. It's because I'm always successful. My class, I used to teach grade 7, the children always pass the common entrance. So I have a reputation for that.
After 10 years in Antigua, Salufa returned to Dominica and dedicated himself to education, teaching all subjects at the primary school level. He remained committed to this role until he later advanced his career through specialized training in mathematics and social studies. Salufa further stated that while growing up, he never had a defined career path in mind. However, once he entered the teaching profession, he developed a deep passion for it and found himself fully committed with no interest in pursuing any other field.
What really motivated me for teaching? When I went to the secondary school in Antigua, right? I was a children's person. So I used to help other children with their homework and what have you. And the brothers, I remember I said so at the beginning, the Christian brothers used to watch me at night. We used to have night studies and see what I was doing. So when they realized, you see those guys there, we'll build it well. Okay? And I just this, I suppose it's a gift from God. That's what I can say, right? It's a gift. Because to me, Miss Luke, to teach today, you have to have love for children. Teaching is a vocation. It's not a salary business. You have to love children to teach. You understand? You have to have love for children to teach. I don't care whether you have BSc, sorry, or whatever. The degree doesn't matter. You must have the love and the patience. Because that's why I mean it so long.
In 2020, Teacher Lufa was awarded the Service Medal of Honor in recognition of his long-standing contribution to education and community upliftment in Dominica. Despite his success in the classroom, he admitted that his journey was not without struggle. He revealed that he battled alcoholism for many years and has now been on a path of sobriety for the past 11 years.
Yeah, there was a time I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I'm not ashamed to say that. But one day, by the grace of God, I decided to finish with that. And this look, and I'm saying to the public, it's 11 years now. I have never touched alcohol. Never. And I don't think I'll do it. And I will say it again for those who are listening to us. If a doctor tells me tomorrow or today, "Sir Lufa, you have to take a sugar brandy for your health," I tell him I prefer to die. That's how I am. Because I know what it did me and what it almost put me in. Right? So, he left alcohol alone. Right?
He said his struggle with alcohol began in his 20s when casual drinking gradually became more frequent and eventually developed into a weekend addiction.
When you're young, you fall with the crowd. You understand? I think it didn't start in Dominica, in Antigua. Right? especially when you meet with young boys of your age, and when, for example, weekend, you know. But after a while, when you realize what it's doing to your body, right? That's why I tell anybody, anything you start, you can stop. But you must have faith in God. You understand? Right? Because, first of all, I only used to drink on weekends, not school time, weekend. All right. And one day I get up and I just take the bottle there for the rubbish. Just like that.
So what you're saying to us is that your alcoholism at that point in time, it never affected your ability to work.
Nope. I just told you on weekends. But then when I see what it was doing to me, personal, right, my body, I leave it alone. It's very difficult.
So coming up of that addiction to alcohol, was it difficult for you?
It was. Because, okay, sorry, what the anytime I meet somebody, it could be my past students, somebody offer me a drink, you know what I normally tell them? Give me the money, I'll buy food in the market. You know that? It's not easy. You know that? And my whole body, my mouth have no taste for alcohol. If anybody today offer me alcohol, I will tell them, give me something in the cell. It's very difficult. I can tell you, very difficult. But you have to make up your mind.
So, Lufa, when you were addicted to alcohol, or when you were an alcoholic, what sort of troubles did it lead you to?
No troubles,
No troubles?
No.
It's just personal, your health.
Because you see, I didn't used to go and drink with anybody. You know, if I drank with my teachers, I socialized with people I do, you know. So I didn't go in the rum shop every day. You understand? Well, with me, my drinking started by following the crowd. It was about stress. We were young, right? And weekend, and we were just drinking as young people. Miss, look, alcohol doesn't take out stress. It put more stress. It doesn't take out stress. Because next day, the problem is still there. I don't know if you agree with me. You drink it now, you feel nice. Next day, you go to work, the problem still there. Don't take it out. All right? And I'll give them the young people who want to drink, or the young ones who are drinking now. Yes, there's nothing wrong with taking an occasional drink, but you mustn't make it a habit. You understand? You mustn't take it as a habit. Because when I was young, we used to go to party. I don't know about it, sorry. But when I was young, we used to go to parties. And when you go to the party, you used to pay, you know. You better put up alcohol. You're supposed to do that. Yeah. Or you bring a cake or something. Yeah. But nowadays, it's different. And thank God I live it.
So, Lufa, how old are you right now?
I am 78, going strong.
Teacher Luther, a devoted Catholic, said, "It is his faith and dedication to God that ultimately guided him out of his struggles and onto the path of sobriety."
I went several times to the priest and asked him to pray for me. Yeah, I did. Sure. Yeah. And I believe prayer works. Yes.
So you certainly believe that it's through prayer and your dedication.
And you must be willing to do it yourself. That's the problem some people have. Because sorry to tell you, I have two guys, two of my neighbors, I speak to them every day. They are alcoholic. They will stop in 3 months and they start again. I can't do anything better. I tell them, look at me and look at you. I would like you, you know. I tell them, I would like you. But God help me, I stop. You can stop.
So, Lufa, do you remember the exact day itself when you just made that decision to stop?
That's a long time ago. I can't remember that. No.
But was there a time when you stopped and then you probably relapsed?
No, sir. No. When I stopped, I never go back. Never went back. Never. Never. And to tell you, no person tell me, Lufa, you must stop the drinking. Right? They might advise me. I took it. It's like just a spirit come in your head and tell you just gotta kill yourself. But you understand?
Yes.
And I tell people that already. No doctor told me stop drinking. I just stopped. Yeah. Because I always believe, Miss Luke, if you start something, you can finish it. They didn't put it in your mouth. Yeah, you don't put it in your mouth. So you can stop.
You are still in the teaching profession as a mentor.
Yes, at the P7 primary school. And they are doing very well, huh?
To the educators of this generation, Salufa offered this advice.
All the new technology that is coming on, I think it is a good thing, right? But you will still have to induce into the children's mind, right, that their education is more important than anything in their life. Right? When I say education, their upbringing. Some people believe education is just mathematics, English, Spanish, right? The way that you bring up yourself, as a child or an adult, have respect, you know what I'm saying? Be on time, all these things there, right? Has to do with, you can have all the AI and BI, right? If you're not a person, if your personality is not good, doesn't mean nothing. You understand? You must learn to be on time, have patience, give children their dues, and by the way, I should tell you that too. Don't love one child more than the other. There are some teachers that they favor certain students. It's not good. You must love all of them the same way.
And that is something that you practice.
Yes. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's showing itself now because at my age, when they meet me, sorry to tell you, I can never come from Bath State, right? When school is over and walking towards the bridge for some student not to stop and pick me up. It's because of what I've done, The respect. You understand? They will tell me, Seluba, you remember you used to beat me? But they don't. Another guy told me, sir, he lives in Maryland. He said, sir, thank you for the day you took us outside and taught me measurement. Today is a big contract in America. So that's what I like. You make something out of them. Right? You might have one or two of them on the west side, right? The majority, right? But the majority of them did well. Doctors, I'm calling them by you, know them. Lawyers, prison officers, firemen, police officers, even teachers. So,
how long have you been retired from teaching?
Oh, this year gives me, let me see, 24 years. But I left in 2002.
But you're still contributing to the profession as a mentor.
Yeah, well, for the time.